A very good morning, dear students. Welcome to e-learning classes of Sacred Hearts of the subject economics. Dear students, in the previous lecture, we have started our chapter number 6, that was human capital formation in India. In the previous lecture, dear students, we have discussed about the concept of human capital, the concept of human resource. Also, we have discussed about the human development. If we talk about the human capital, then a particular human being is considered to be capital when he or she acquires some specialized knowledge, skill or expertise in a particular field, due to which the tendency to generate the GDP or to contribute in the GDP increases. Thereafter, we have discussed about the concept of human development. Human capital can be considered as a means, and human development is the end result of the human capital formation. Thereafter, we have discussed about the difference between physical capital and the human capital. There was a lot of difference between human capital and physical capital. Physical capital was having a comparatively limited scope, but if we talk about the human capital, then it seems to be very essential and having a very wide scope. Dear students, today we are going to start the next topic, that is the human capital formation and economic growth, or we can say the significance of human capital formation. The very first significance or the importance is change, emotional and material environment of growth. Both the environment are essential. Emotional, which motivates and gives strength, mental strength to the human being, and material environment, which used to give the physical support with the equipments, with the machines and with the tools. Just see in this, human capital generates a change. Human capital formation generates a change in the emotional and material environment of growth. Both the environment used to change. What happens with the emotional environment? With the emotional environment, it becomes very conducive to the growth, as people tend to acquire growth oriented attitude and aspirations. Now the outlook of the people changes. It modulates as per the growth and development of the human being. And the second one, material environment become more helpful to growth, as society is now having the larger amount of machines, larger amount of other equipments that are needed. The second one is the higher productivity of the physical capital. All the physical capital are at last controlled and modulated and regulated by the human capital only. And if the human being is a capital, or human capital is completely and appropriately trained, is appropriately knowledgeable, expertise, in that condition, that human capital can use the physical capital in a best manner. So it enhances the productivity and accelerate the pace of growth. The speed of the growth used to increases. Now see, for the human capital formation gives birth to innovative skills, which leads to innovation, invention and technical improvement. That means all over the environment relating to the productivity enhances or improves. See the third point, higher rate of participation and equality. When every of the particular person or most of the particular person will be educated, will be skilled, will be knowledgeable, in that condition there will be higher propensity for the participation in the economic activity, which induces the greater amount of employment generation, and it brings the situation of equality in the economy. Now see a note over here, beta. The 7th 5-year plan, out of the all 5-year plans, the 7th 5-year plan of India clearly recognized the importance of human capital in the process of economic growth. That means it was the first 5-year plan in which there was a due importance was given to the human capital. Now the next topic, problems facing human capital formation in India. What are the obstacles that are in the way of human capital formation, specifically in our country? The very first is the rising population, or I can say it a population explosion. It affects the quality of human capital. Why? It is because it reduces per head availability of existing facilities relating to housing, sanitation, drainage, hospital, education. If the population will increase, per head facilities available will decrease, and reduced availability of these facilities leads to fall in the quality life, and the quality life of the people will decrease, degrade, and which bring the negative situation for the human capital formation. Second one, brain drain. Migration of person to the developed countries is a serious problem that specifically we are facing. Most of the people who are well educated, well trained, the toppers or the most good professionals used to move to the rest of the world, other countries. Those who decide to migrate are the persons of high caliber such as scientists, administrators, executive engineers, educationalists, and what happens with the migration of them, all the skill and all the knowledge also used to move outside the country. The next one is the deficient manpower planning. Deficient manpower planning, if we talk about our country, we are having a huge amount of human, that means population, but in our country there is no as such manpower planning in the country, and that is why this population is becoming a burden for us, and if there will be a proper planning, it will convert into the resource. And the next one is the sufficient on the job training in the primary sector. It is needed. In the primary sector, there is lack of the on the job training, and it is something needed. Why? Because the people who belongs to the primary sector seems to be one of the most unskilled people. The next one, that is the low academic standards. If we talk about our education system, so in the enthusiasm or in the joy of spreading the higher education, what we have done, a lot of schools, colleges and universities have been established with a very low standard, who are not focusing on the academic standards properly, and consequently what we are having the half baked graduates. That means the graduates who are having very less amount of knowledge relating to their course of action, and as a result education system is just making the people educated, just giving the degree, but when we talk about skill, when we talk about knowledge, that it doesn't seems over there. So there is a very serious requirement for the practical applicability of the education system. So this is all about today. God bless you all. Lots of love.